and then he's just a good overall football player. I thought the transition to safety was a good one, and one this team needed, and he played well for us. And obviously until the unfortunate injury, um, and then Gerald, he's a young tackle who's got some athleticism, some quickness, and some pass rush ability. Um, some showed in practice that he can play both run and pass. So we're going to try to give him an opportunity to earn a role this week. So, but happy with both guys.
With Mark Walton, any regrets? I know you said you think people are deserving of second chances. Any regrets on giving Mark a second chance?
It's an unfortunate situation. We felt like we had to make the move to release him, and that's what it is. And but yeah, an unfortunate situation. You never want to see anything like that happen. So tough.
Does the failure there going forward make you rethink how you evaluate character?
I think we as an organization, Chris, Brandon, obviously we character is something we spend a lot of time on, and in this case, it didn't work out with Mark, and but it's case by case, and I think that's kind of the thought process for us as a staff and as an organization.
What do you hope Van Ginkel can bring to the defense?
When we drafted him, we thought we were getting a young, physical, smart, tough young player. Can play a few different roles and has some pass rush, has some set edge ability, has some special teams value. So, we'll see. He's did a good job, early in training camp, and last week he had strung a couple good practices together. So we'll see how that goes. See if he can carve out a role for himself this week.
We'll start for you guys this week.
Yes.
Is there a scenario you see short of injury that Rosen starts a game for this team the rest of the season?
I don't have a crystal ball, so anything can happen from that standpoint. Fitz has done a good job. Rosen's, obviously developing in practice. I know you guys don't see that, but he's definitely making some strides. So, to sit here and say it'll be one guy the whole way, I've done that before and I was wrong then. So, you just never know.
What does Josh do to win that job back?
Josh needs to try to improve every day. Try to get better on a daily basis and improve on his, getting the ball out quickly, game management, just overall. And again, I think he is improving, and we'll see how it goes.
Brian, can you talk about the challenge of facing an offense with as many dynamic playmakers as the Browns have?
It's definitely a big challenge. They're everywhere. And then they just brought up the tight end, Njoku. So from Landry to, Beckham to, Chubb to Hunt, it's to Mayfield, you're just, on and on and on. We're going to have to play very good team defense to stop this high-powered offense. And, they really have guys really everywhere, offensively, defensively, and on special teams. So it's a good team. It'd be a really, really tough challenge for us.
Ryan, regarding Rashad Jones, he's a guy who spent a long time with the organization.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get to know him very well? Because I know he wasn't here for all of the off-season program.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on him?
I think, I've gotten to know him very well. And I think this is a tough, a very, very good player, good person as well. I like Rashad a lot. I think he brings a toughness, a grittiness, a love of the game that and he brought a lot to this team. So, in getting to know him, he was, you could see why he's been such a productive player for a long time. Yeah.
Do those things convince you that he should be a part of the organization moving
I'm just thinking honestly. I haven't thought about that, to be quite honest. When a guy goes down, that's not the first thing that comes to mind. You're just worried about the kid and him getting healthy. But yeah, I mean, this is a good player who's been productive in this league for a long time. So yeah, you got me on that one, Armando. It wasn't something I've really thought about. You kind of when a guy goes on IR, you think about really the next day, the next couple of days, what's gonna how that's gonna impact him. So no, I haven't thought about that, but just off off the top of my head, yeah, I think this is a guy who's showed that he can play in this league, still play in this league, and we'll see how that goes.
What did you see in Colbert to warrant adding him to the roster?
We saw a young player who has speed, has athleticism. Started games in this league, and we just felt like he's a guy who Chris, Brandon, the personnel staff have done a lot of evaluations on and kind of had an eye on him for a while. So we just felt like with the losses at the position, this was the best guy available, and we'll get him involved today and through the course of the week, and see if he's can carve out a role for himself on Sunday. We'll see.
Well, you're in a kind of unique situation, being one of the youngest coaches in the league and having a quarterback Ryan kind of close in age with you. What's your relationship been like with him, and what's it kind of been to kind of see him kind of bounce back up after every hit, have a smile on his face all the time, showing his love for the game?
I mean, it's great to see that. You want that from really every position, especially the quarterback position. He's tough. He's a leader. Guys rally around him. He loves to play. He loves to practice. And whether you're a young coach or an old coach, or you want to see that out of every player, whether he's a younger player or an older player. But that leadership by example to a young team is something that I think is valuable.
I know you said you don't have a crystal ball here, but he's played really well, and he's been able to play every game this season. Is that ideal? Would you like to see him? Are you confident that he's able to finish on this season?
I'm hopeful that all guys finish. That they can. That's something we talk about. Finishing games, finishing practice, finishing really everything we do. So, yeah, I'd love to see him and the rest of this team finish and stay healthy and and continue to grow, build, and improve. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers the question. Yeah.
Was the Gary Jennings thing something that you think he can recover from to be back for the off-season program? And were there flashes you saw in his week and a half here that intrigued you about the future? Because he's obviously under contract for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, we talked about this last week. He's fast. He's young. He's fast. He's got size. He's got athletic ability. He's playing the kicking game. And again, we only had him for a short period of time, but he showed some things that made us feel like we could play him in a game. So I think coming back in the off season and getting into that part of it, I think that'll be good for him. So yeah, I think he'll be able to help us.
Sorry, you've lost 3 starters in the last 2 days. That's a lot even by NFL standards. How would you describe the challenge with all the moving parts you've had in the last few weeks, getting through these last 6 weeks, being competitive and
Yeah.
seeing what you got?
I think we've had moving parts really the entire season. It's something that started early, and there's been a move here or there throughout the year. And I think as a staff, we just try to get the guys who are going to be available to us ready to play, and try to put them in good positions to play well based on their ability and really the ability of whatever unit that happens to be, whether it's a nickel group or a 11 personnel offensive group or a kickoff return group. So just try to put the best group together. A lot of things go into that. It means we may have to simplify some things with this group. It means we may be able to get it more exotic with some other groups. There's a lot of things that go into it. But a lot of it, was up to the player and sets of players to make the most of their opportunities when those opportunities present themselves. And I think we've had, a lot of guys, step up, when they've gotten an opportunity, and that's what, really, I don't know, get on the soapbox, but that's what life's about. You get an opportunity, for whatever reason, whether it's injury or, we move on from somebody and another guy gets an opportunity to step in. It's a chance for them to take advantage and try to carve out a role for themselves on this team and really in this league and carve out and, create a career or try to create a career for themselves. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Come on, guys.
I believe you guys were gonna bring Mark back initially, but how does it look for the rest of the running back room, particularly those rookies now that he's not, and they're gonna have to carry the load for the rest of the year?
I mean, he hasn't been with us for 2 weeks, so it's just what it's been the last couple of weeks. Kalen, Miles, Pat Laird, D. Turner. So, those are the guys in the room. That's what it's been. I mean, we've been without Mark the last couple of weeks, and we just need to continue doing what we've been doing the last 2 weeks. And those guys have to step up. That's really what it boils down to.